Hello everybody, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Hayley Weston and I am HR Coordinator for KFM, as well as a mental health first aider and also health and wellbeing champion for KFM. I'm going to talk to you today about stress, and April is recognised as National Stress Awareness Month, so it's to bring attention to the negative impact that stress can have on us all. So what exactly is stress? Obviously we all know and use the word in our day-to-day lives, such as I'm a bit stressed out, it's a stressful day. Days like these at the end of the day, you probably just want to sit down, you're exhausted and just want to chill out. Might feel a bit achy as well. Firstly, stress is not necessarily a bad thing. Sometimes we need a little bit of it in order to give us a bit of a push. Our ancestors certainly wouldn't have survived without it because it alerted them to potential danger, such as a saber-toothed tiger or something. It's primarily a physical response, so the body thinks it's under attack and it switches to fight or flight mode, which releases a complex mix of hormones and chemicals in our body which prepares you for physical action. And that's mainly adrenaline and cortisol. To a caveman, this would either be to fight the tiger or run away. I know what one I'd choose. So in modern day, fight or flight mode can still help us survive dangerous situations, such as reacting swiftly by slamming the brakes on your car, for example. The challenge with stress is when we have it for long periods of time, and it can lead to an inability to think straight, hindering both our work and home life, and it can be seriously detrimental to our health. When you have stress for long periods of time, what happens in your body is that you continue to produce this stress hormone, which is mainly cortisol, and too much of that can make you seriously ill. So a while back, a long time ago now actually, I was studying to become a massage therapist, and my lecturer spoke a little bit about stress, and the way he explained it was that when you're in a stressful state, you're not at ease, so you're in a state of dis-ease. And then he spelt the word disease on the whiteboard. So what he was teaching us was that stress leads to disease, and at the time I didn't think much of it. It had never happened to me in a huge way. I was thinking more along the lines of like a stress headache, for example. But I understand what he meant now. So stress is something that each and every one of us deal with in our day-to-day lives, and we each deal with it however we choose. But what if you're in a situation where you can't alter it? And I'm going to tell you a little personal story now. I'm not going to go into great detail, but I'm going to share anyway. So last year, I got into a really stressful situation which took about 18 days to resolve. I basically had a lot going on. I took on way too much in my personal life, and it was just too much. Every so often throughout this 18 days, more stress was added to the recipe. So my cortisol levels were going up and up and up. Those of you who know me will know I'm usually quite a positive and happy person most of the time, but I got very low very quickly. After about 5 or 6 days, I had stomach issues, which was most likely due to the cortisol in my body increasing. Next, I started to get low really quickly. After a couple more days, I started to get severe headaches. By the end of this time period, I had these horrible aches and pains in my chest, through my armpits and travelling down my arms. So by the end of it, I genuinely thought something was seriously wrong, and honestly, I thought I was dying, which sounds dramatic, but that is exactly how I felt. And after this 18 days was all over, it was all done and dusted, but I still felt really ill. So I used our Health Cash plan service to get a GP appointment, and they very quickly booked me in for a face-to-face. I think it was because they could hear in my voice that I was quite upset. I saw the doctor, and when I saw her, I just burst into tears. She assured me from my symptoms, and she checked me all over and everything, that what I had was most likely caused by stress. She sorted me out with a very detailed blood test just to rule anything out. And after a while, I got better and I was okay. My reason for divulging all of this to you is for a few reasons, actually. One, because I want to create an open workplace for us all, where it becomes easier for us all to talk about things, and why not lead by example? And two, because I'm not just reading from an article, like it's a very real thing that happens to a lot of us. Three, it's because it's important to know what I didn't do. So I didn't see my friends or speak to them much. Usually we chat maybe once or twice every day. I didn't have time, and also I wasn't interested. I had too much on my mind. Also, we've got a group family chat. It's full of banter. And I'd say that there's something in that chat almost every day. Not to sound corny, but my family are like my wolf pack. So I remember I looked at my phone once and saw about 40 odd messages that I hadn't read, which is very rare. It never happens. And I just didn't have time to go through it. So I'd cut myself off from the pack. I was a lone wolf, if you will. I definitely wasn't eating properly in the slightest possible way. Was not drinking enough water. Sleep was horrendous. I wasn't sleeping properly at all. I'd stopped going out for a leisurely stroll in the woods or the fields, which is something that I personally really love to do. So there was no exercise, and there was no being around nature. I don't think I left the house for anything other than a stressful chore. My positive mindset, which is usually spot on, was non-existent. And I definitely didn't master my time effectively. At one point, my best friend messaged me and she said she's picking me up in 30 minutes and not taking no for an answer. She had previously checked that I was free. We went for a coffee and lunch and had a really good chat, and I felt much better after that. I didn't mean to isolate myself. It just happened that way due to lack of time and just too much going on in my mind. Moving on to a positive though now. From that experience, I learned so much. And my life's changed now for the better because of it. So what do we do to relieve it? What can we do to relieve our stress? And this goes back to everything I've just mentioned. So definitely stay connected with family and friends and share what's going on. Eat for well-being. So just try and make sure you're getting that fruit and veg in. An apple a day keeps the doctor away, that age-old saying. It's so cliche, but it's definitely true. And that's actually for mental health as well. Stay hydrated. So water is the most important nutrient for our bodies after oxygen. And our bodies are made up on average of about 70% water. So when we don't drink enough, we feel more tired, sluggish, and our energy levels are a lot lower. It also helps with sleep. I don't know about you guys, but I sometimes struggle with managing to drink 2 litres a day. So I've got this, which I actually find really helpful. So it's just, you just drink little slots throughout the hour, and it just reminds you like when to drink, which I find really helpful. And before you know it, you've drunk 2 litres. So that's good. You can practice deep breathing. So sit in a comfortable position with a straight spine and breathe in through your nose and count to 5. And if you imagine a balloon inflating in your stomach, then you hold your breath for 5 to 10 seconds, whatever you can do that's comfortable. And then as you exhale, you count to 8 and repeat that several times. And what that does is it helps calm your nervous system. It lowers your blood pressure and your heart rate. So any of you who do yoga or have had a massage treatment, they might have added this into the class or the treatment because it helps you to relax. And now you can actually go to a class especially for breath work. So try and get to one of those if you're feeling stressed. Try to adopt a positive mindset. So look for the positives in the situation wherever you can find them, which is a lot easier said than done actually when you're in a situation that you can't escape, but it's definitely worth a shot and it's worth trying. Try to find time to exercise. It's a great stress reliever, also creates endorphins. You know, put some good music on and get your body moving. Learn to say no. Don't take too much on or try and cram too much activity into one day. Try to get a good night's sleep. Feeling refreshed in the morning can help you. And above all, if it gets to a point where it's extremely bad, then you need to book an appointment with your GP or see your doctor. Sometimes it can help just to talk to someone and get everything off your chest. Speak to your family, friends, co-workers, and don't forget that we have our mental health first aiders on hand, who you can speak to confidentially, and we will all listen to you and let you know what services can help you. And it's nice sometimes to be able to speak to someone who isn't in your social circle or your family circle. Also, as I mentioned previously, don't forget about our health cash plan. It helped me so much. Please do use them, and if you're unsure how, I believe all the information is on the hub, or just pop me a message or an email and I'm happy to help you. We've also got the EAP, the Employee Assistance Programme, and they're available 24/7, 365 days of the year. They can offer you a wide range of help and advice, including stuff on legal and financial information, health advice across a huge range of issues, and it's completely confidential and anonymous. And check out our health and wellbeing page on the hub. There's so much information on there too. And yeah, I think that's about everything from me. Hope you'll have a lovely day. Look after each other and speak soon. Okay, bye.